Have you ever failed in your life? And if yes, how did you cope up with that failure?
I fail every single day, bro.
Oh. Hello everyone, welcome to the series named Conversation with Kushal once again. Today's guest is one of the youngest guests on my podcast. He's a second year student at BITS Goa and is an entrepreneur, a content creator, a YouTuber, a motivational speaker, and whatnot. He's none other than Ishan Sharma. He has his own startup named as MarketUp and has set foot in the content creation industry and has disrupted this space through his amazing videos. Thank you so much, Ishan, for accepting my invitation and coming up on the show. It's pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much, Kushal, for inviting me here. And it's just a pleasure talking to you over here on this channel, spreading awareness.
Yeah, absolutely. So I watched some of your videos on YouTube as well. You're doing a great job, man. Like just making videos on freelancing, making videos on your particular knowledge, sharing it with everyone. That's really a great job you're doing. So kudos to
Thank you so
that.
much, bro. Thank you so much. The goal has
Yeah,
always been to spread awareness as much as possible about alternate career paths that college student can take, right? Just
right.
sharing my own experiences, talking to people who have done something great in their own life, what challenges did they face, just talking about that and telling that to as many people as possible is what my goal is.
Right, absolutely, man. So first things first, Ishan, you have literally set foot in this content creation industry at the age of 19. You're 19 as of now. Of course, you'll be turning 20 very soon. And
Yeah.
the best part about it is that you've achieved so much at a very young age. So what is it that drives and excites Ishan Sharma each and every morning to give his more than 100%?
Yeah, sure. I think that the best part about doing content is that you get to change lives of so many different people, and you don't even realize the impact that you can create. One reel goes viral, gets like a million views. You might never know how that content in that reel hits other people and what they do with that content in their own life, right? So that has always been the narrative for me. I get these emails from people around the world saying that, hey, I learned from your video and I started freelancing, or I started my own business, or I started my YouTube channel. And this is what the growth has been. I just started with my first income source and I want to thank you. And so that feeling, seeing that you have helped someone start their own career is gratifying. And that's basically what keeps me going every single day.
Right, absolutely. I guess this is a wonderful thought as well in terms of giving out to the fraternity, which has given you so much. So it's like if you have knowledge and if you have that particular resource to share it with everyone, then that's the best motivation which you can get. So similar thing it's for me as well. If I help out someone and if he is going to email me saying that he has been helped by my videos, then that's the best motivation source which even I have. Yeah, I was just watching one of your Joe Stock videos as well. You got featured there as well. So congratulations for that, first of all. The title was that how this 19-year-old kids earns more than 1 lakh rupees per month. So everyone who's watching this video who's in their 20s right now, what are some of the income streams which you would recommend them in order to diversify their income sources? So you can also share what are your income sources in terms of diversification and how do you manage to earn at such a young age?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's one video that I made entirely just on this, saying that, oh, how I have 7 income streams and all. But more importantly, I think what you should be doing if you are around this age is just to equip yourself with different skills, right? Your skill set is what is going to help you create these different income sources. Number one, if you are someone that has been experiencing a new life or just change in their normal setting, let's say I was into IIT JEE, I was preparing for that, then I went outside in my own college, I started documenting my journey on this YouTube channel. If you can document your journey on platforms like YouTube, so on Instagram and LinkedIn, that can be really fruitful for you, right? So that can lead to you getting paid through AdSense, you getting paid through brand deals, you getting paid through a lot of different sources as well. What if someone just calls you up and says that, hey, I watched your video and I loved what you're doing and I want to share my own business deal with you, or this is what I feel I should be doing, would you be interested in helping me out along the way? So that actually happens with me a lot of times. Like people would just say, hey, would you want to be my co-founder or something? So I just get to experience a lot of different perspectives that people have, right? That's one thing that you can try out. Content creation field is a lot more satisfying and you get paid as well if you can get to those numbers and engagement. But yeah, it is more for the impact impact aspect and less for the earnings aspect. Talking about the what are the other income streams, I was actually watching this video by Varun Maya in which he was talking about how to make 1 crore in a month. And he was talking about how you can start flipping second-hand cars, right? So you look onto olx.com, you can see what car is selling over there, and try to create a false market by creating 5 different olx accounts and then varying the rates of that same model, that same car, and then trying to create a false market. And you can do things like that. That works out for some people. For me, I think what works out for me is teaching. I learned programming when I was after my 12th grade. So for 2 years, I learned programming, and then I was like, let me share whatever I learned on YouTube. So I just made like 5 videos about how can you learn Python. And then the next thing I know, I get contacted by an academy saying that we want you to be featuring as our educator on the platform. So that's another field that I explored. Teaching has been a really great experience because you try to explain things in the most simplest of manner to class students, to school students. So this, I think, is a great way that you can start earning, especially right now. Earlier it used to be the case that teachers don't get paid as much, but if you take command of your own self and you said, okay, I want to teach, and now I'll find students that would want to learn whatever I have learned, then you can try to create like a live course, and you can try to create like a recorded course, and then you can start selling that, and that can scale really well, right? So you can have 1,000 people, you can have 1 lakh people, you can have how many people as you want, depending on how well can you market it, to buy this course. And that is a great way that you can start earning. Then of course you have affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is a great way that you can start earning if you have that attention, right? So on my videos, I just put the Amazon links to all of the things that I personally own, saying that, okay, to edit my videos, I use this laptop. To record my videos, I use this camera. This is the phone that I have with which I create short videos. So things like that, when you start sharing this on your blog, or let's say on your YouTube video, that helps you out a lot. You don't need to be that on that you don't need to cross that junction of having 4,000 watch hours and having 1,000 subscribers. You can start earning from the day one using affiliate marketing. So that's one more thing that you can do. After that, I think it's more about your skill set, and then going into freelancing. Once you have learned a particular skill, try to see how can you present it to other people. How can you market yourself on these platforms? Like you have Fiverr, you have Upwork, you have freelancer.com, you have a ton of different freelancing platforms. See how can you optimize your particular service on this platform so that more and more people discover it. And then outside of that, you can also hustle around and email a bunch of people every single day asking for help. Like you can just say that if you want me to edit your videos, or if you want me to make a better website for your business, or if you want me to create more engaging posts on your Instagram, or whatever it is that you offer, I would love to do that for you. And here is my number. Learn the art of cold emailing and just send off the mail to them. And that will really be beneficial for you. You have no idea where that can take you. So just be shameless in asking as many people as possible. I remember this one instance that Steve Jobs shared of how he just randomly called Hewlett Packard, right? And he was just like, I want to work over there. And he got a job in the summer over there. So I think you need to be shameless in asking. And just make sure that you're trying your best to reach out to as many people as possible, and that will be really beneficial for you. Even I just reach out to companies that are really great for my audience. So let's say my audience are mainly college students, so I can just reach out to some course company saying that, hey, I recently hit 1 lakh subscribers. I want you to give away X amount of courses for my audience, right? So that strategic partnership is what you can also try to do, and that is going to be another great way that you can build an audience and all. So yeah, these are some ways with which you can start earning. There are definitely a lot more that I'm not able to remember right now, but you can definitely look at my video and you'll get a lot more insight into how can you start earning.
I guess this is absolutely granular.
Student or in your 20s.
Yeah, this is absolutely very detailed as such, and wonderful hearing. I have so many questions as of now after hearing your income sources and even the way like the diversified streams of income. Asking about the Python front, so you said that like you learned coding and you taught to students as well. Now we are like a group of finance professionals. So first of all, what is the importance of coding even in a finance world, and how difficult it is for people like us to learn the art of coding?
I think that everyone should at least try to learn to code. It's not a compulsive thing that you should know it, but it's like if you know it, it's going to be a cherry on the top, right? You'll be able to figure out ways with which you can express whatever you've learned in finance with the help of code. And code is the best language out there with which you can scale to the masses, right? So it's really important that you try it at least. Talking about how it can be beneficial for you, there are so many different applications that you can build. You might have heard about Ind Money, what Ind Money is
Yeah,
trying to do right now. I think that is something that a lot of people were wanting. They really wanted a place where they can just view all of their investments, all of their liabilities, their assets, their total net worth. I think that's some things that you could have figured out if you would have already know about finance, but if you could have learned the art of making an application, so that would have been even beneficial. Then there are different things you can do: algorithmic trading, you can develop your own algorithm. It's not too difficult. If you have already figured out finance, I think it won't take much time for you to figure out coding, as it's all about problem solving, right? How can you code out an algorithm that finds the shortest path between two coordinates, right? Things like that. There are multiple different problems. This is just an example, but yeah, I
right.
think you should totally try it at least once, and there can be multiple ways for you to scale whatever knowledge you have of finance.
Right. So on an average, how much time would it take for me, for example, if I want to learn coding, how much time would it take for me to maybe learn the art of coding
It
approximately?
depends on what you want to do actually.
Hmm.
So if you want to, let's say, build an app, like I just talked about in money. So if you want to build an app, you would require to learn a particular language that helps you out with that. You have Flutter, you have Java, you have a bunch of those, but I think that it depends. I would say that it can be learned pretty well in 6 months or so. I
Okay.
learned Python and I learned web development in about 6 7 months. It's not like you can learn it completely, but just talking about getting to a point at which you can be like, okay, I can make a simple application.
Yeah.
And if you can do that, I think that can be done in the next 3 months or so. Like, as from a person who has pretty much no experience into coding,
Right.
3 months to 6 months, I think, is a good time frame with which you can
And
start building
which,
applications and websites.
yeah, and which are some of the best platforms like where we can learn coding from? Would you like, what would you recommend?
So you can learn coding for free in a lot of places. You can also learn it from paid, obviously. The free resources are going to be, first of all, Free Code Camp. If you want to build websites, that is a great place. Or also for apps, you can do that. Recently, Stanford released its iOS development course. Right, so it's called as a Swift development course on YouTube, completely for free. And over there, they're talking about how to build these apps for iPhone, for Mac, for iPad. So you can look into that. That is also a great course. I was skimming through that. Then of course you have CS50. I think CS50 is one of the first courses that you should be doing if you are getting into programming. This is a course provided by Harvard. The professor is highly energetic, and throughout the complete course they're just explaining a lot of different applications of programming, and then you get to choose what is something that excites you more. Right at the end of the 11 lectures or 12 lectures, you get to decide where do you want to go ahead. And then they have a lot of specific courses. So there'll be like a course on web development, there'll be a course on Android development. So just go to this channel called as CS50, and there you can just figure things out. It's a really good place for you to start learning to code. Then definitely there are some other platforms, like my fourth year college student in my own college is building this application called as Code Dam, which enables you to build projects with the help of code. So things like that. There are many different things.
Okay, I'm like wonderful, wonderful. So in fact, like you just talked about in money as well. There are a lot of other applications like in money. So there's one app called as Pick Right. Even that talks about, like where should you invest in mutual funds, stock markets, what are the returns if you invest in this mutual fund and all, and they'll connect you with the advisors as well. A lot of fintech companies have started doing this, like advising the retail investors, educating them, spreading financial literacy. So I guess like
Yeah,
for any particular person to start his own fintech company, it's important that you should have a coding plus finance background. So it's like fintech is nothing but finance plus technology. So finance is going to
exactly.
come from the finance field, and technology is nothing but the programming part or the coding part. And I guess having like basic knowledge of at least programming and a specialized knowledge of finance, or the other way around, would help you in order to like grow your fintech startup and find a good co-founder. So that's my thinking.
Definitely.
And yeah, and that was the main reason of asking that question to you as well. You also spoke about freelancing, and like that was one of the income streams which you also told, and you've talked to a lot of freelancers. Even in your videos, like, you've invited them for podcasts, and you have asked them, like, you've interacted with them as well. So what would be your message for a person who wants to start his own freelancing journey? How can he start and earn through freelancing?
Sure. For freelancing, first of all, you need to find out a skill, right?
Right.
What is a skill that the market values that they are going to pay you for? There are people learning skills that are great. They are loving it. They are having a lot of fun with it. But at the end, the market doesn't care about it, right? So if you want to monetize that, you need to figure out a way which suits both your interest as well as the interest of the market. That is sort of what the ikigai is, right? The circles
Yeah.
that you create and all. Yeah, talking about once you know the skill, or once you think about, okay, I can learn maybe graphic design, then you can start finding out these resources that will be able to that you can use to teach yourself that particular skill. So you can use Udemy, there are a bunch of other platforms, Coursera. You can get free courses, you can get paid courses. I think that investing in courses is actually really good, because the thing is that you can just buy like a 500 rupee 1000 rupee course, and you can learn pretty much everything that that person has learned in the last 5 years, 10 years of experience. So I think that's really good. Once you have learned that particular skill, then we can sort of move ahead and try to learn how to market yourself. So it's one thing to know the skill, it's completely another to market it properly, right? So learn about how can you sell yourself, learn about how to properly quote yourself, right? So quote your services, I should say. So this is what you should understand. Once you have learned how to market, how to cold email people, how to optimize your gigs on these freelancing platforms, then it's a matter of just executing. The first client will be really hard, so you have to be patient about that. So make sure that you stay in the game for 3 months, 6 months, and just
Mm.
wait for that golden opportunity. I would not advise anyone to work for free. I would recommend you to develop your own portfolio depending on whatever you're doing. Maybe you're like a
Mm.
web development freelancer. So you have a portfolio that shows, okay, I've made 10 websites. This is what they look like, and I can start working on your website as well. Or maybe you are into web development, or maybe you are into making videos. So you can show, okay, this is the videos that I've edited, and similarly, I can edit your video. So things like that you can do. Build a great portfolio, make your own website, and then learn to build your own brand as well, because what happens on these platforms is that it's very hard, and everything becomes like a commodity, right?
Mm.
So if you want to not be a commodity, and if you want to be like this name in the brand, in the space, right? So Ishan Sharma or Kushal Loda. So you have to create that brand of yourself on these platforms, and that
Right.
will only happen through content. This is something that you can do. It's not something that you definitely need to do. I know I have talked with Alexandra Fasulo. She's like a freelancer in the copywriting space in the US, and she makes over $300,000. And she recently started
Wow.
building her own brand. Right? She makes like $300,000 every single year. She's been doing it for the last 7 years. So it's not like she got rich overnight or something. She was just like working as much as she could. She quit her job after 2 years into freelancing, and she just went all in. But yeah, that's what I would say. Make sure that you have like an emergency fund. Make sure that you buy like an insurance for yourself, because these things will not happen because you're not in like a typical corporate environment. You're more like a contractor. So you have to make sure that you get all of those things done, which otherwise the company would have done for you. So that is one very important thing. Then just like understanding about personal finance. Once you do make the money, how can you properly reinvest it into your own business, learn more and more skills. The most important thing is to upskill yourself, right? So web
Yeah.
development, previously people used to have these WordPress websites, or people used to be equipped with PHP, which was our technology of the past. People still use it, definitely, but it's not the most trendy technology, I would say. So you need to upskill yourself
Right.
every 2 to 3 years. There's going to be a new technology that you need to learn. So make sure that you reinvest into learning. So yeah, this is what I would say. Marketing yourself is very important, and that this is
Right.
the most important thing that you should be focusing on.
I guess being patient is one of the key traits. Having patience in this field, like waiting for 3 months or 6 months until we get a very good contract, that is of utmost importance. What are some of the good platforms where people can try freelancing? If you could recommend, if a particular viewer wants to start freelancing, where can he start?
platforms are definitely not the best place to start freelancing. Actually, what I would recommend is to just like use these social platforms, use LinkedIn, use
Mm,
just try to see around yourself. What are the companies that your college students, that your college batchmates started, or your seniors started? Try to find
mm,
some work over there, and once you have your first few clients, then you can definitely move on to these platforms. The reason is that the people that do are the people that are searching for freelancers on these platforms. They are looking for reviews.
mm.
Okay, they want to see that you have done the work. And
Okay.
it is basically like that problem of experience. You need to have
Yeah.
experience to get a job. To get a job, you need right.
Yeah.
So that is
That
sort of
cycle.
how, yeah, to break that cycle, you need to go onto these social media platforms, and you need to go out to these people on email. Try to find at least one person, and then just tell them that, hey, let's say for example you have Fiverr. Just tell them that, okay, we have talked on email, but I would highly recommend you to order whatever service you want through this Fiverr link, so that you can leave a review after that, and that can jumpstart your own career into Fiverr. Once you get these 3, 4, 5, 6 reviews, it can boost your reach. Basically, the platforms are looking for these freelancers who are working a lot, and that is how they'll get you out. They'll get you in the top ranks for that particular keyword, and that's basically how that works.
Right. Absolutely. Thanks, man. I guess that's very helpful to all the viewers who are going to watch this. What are some of the hurdles you faced, and how did you tackle these hurdles? So by hurdles, I mean that any challenge which you would have faced, like when you entered content creation, when you started market up, and how did you tackle these challenges?
Starting my own YouTube channel, I think the biggest problem with me was that I didn't know how to attract people. I didn't know that people will not watch like a 40-minute or like a 1 hour long show unless they trust that particular YouTuber. And so I should have focused more on creating short form content that people can consume without having that issue of committing a lot of time. So I think that is what I should have known, but I think it's completely fine. It's like a process that you go through,
Yeah.
and that is what is going to be really like the fun aspect of it, right? Just like figuring things out. How does the platform really work? Experimenting, trying to have different thumbnails. I think that one good thing that I should have done from the early starting was to invest into learning to edit videos properly. So in the very beginning, I was not good at editing the video. I was using like a very much free software, open source software to do it, and that software was not having the best features. Now that I use Final Cut Pro, I realize the importance of great editing, and so I've learned a lot about how to edit great videos, and that is really really important. So yeah,
Right.
this is what I have faced when I was starting my own YouTube channel.
Mm,
Thirdly, or secondly, I should say, what I did, that what the problem that I faced when I was starting Market Up is that I was not able to, and I'm still not able to figure this out. I'm not able to find great talent for the work that we are doing right now. So that is like editing videos, speaking in the video, or graphic design, for example. So that there is like a huge population of
mm,
average people out there, people who have maybe watched two tutorials on YouTube, and then they are going out to get clients, or people who just don't have a really good portfolio, people who are just like amateurs basically, and they want to get projects fast, and then they just say, "Yo, I'll work for free for you." The problem with that is that I'm working with companies. I'm not working with individuals, so they
mm.
cannot have a mediocre video edited, right?
Right.
So that's basically what I want. People who have that sense कि okay, अच्छी video ऐसे बनती है. So if they can understand that, that will little like boost up what they are earning as well as the clients that they are working with. So I think that's really important. That's what I'm facing right now. Finding great talent in India is hard, even though we have so many different people that you can hire. It's hard.
Right. Yeah, I know, like I agree, it's hard. There's a pool of talent, of course, in this economy as well, but it's like people are trying a lot of different industries. They are also like they are like diversified across the country. So it's like a little difficult to find a niche in a particular industry. That's my opinion, but I completely
Yep.
agree with your view as well. Also
Hmm.
asking on the personal front itself, like not about content creation, not about your market up agency. Have you like ever failed in your life, and if yes, how did you cope up with that failure?
I fail every single day, bro.
Oh,
It's
can you
not like
elaborate on
something
that?
that, yeah, like we all go through these miniature failures. like 3 years or 2 years ago, I failed in my IIT JEE exam, like the JEE Advance. I was able to clear JEE Mains, but not JEE Advance. That was like a big failure. I was not able to clear this exam called as NTSC, for which I was preparing for one complete year when I was in my 10th grade. I failed in my KVPY exam, wasn't able to secure that when I was in my 11th grade. And then these things just keep happening all the time. Like I'm in my college. I failed in one of the subjects in college, had to reappear for that. So just these small things happen, but I think that I don't define my worth based upon these random numbers that are generated. So yeah, that's what I think. These things will happen all the time, but it's just about the long game, right? For me, the game is like going on and on and on. That's what Gary Vaynerchuk says, and it is so true
Mm.
that the game will go on until 80. Right, this is just
Right.
like a miniature failure that you have, that okay, you didn't go into the best college that you wanted to, but still you have like 60 years left of doing some amazing things in your life. So that would just be like a small miniature thing that you will have at the end of your whole life. So yeah, these things don't really
Right.
matter much.
Maybe when you just fail, or probably when you have just experienced all these failures, what is your mindset like, or how do you train your mind in order to forget them and cope up with them and just keep moving on in your life?
I feel that no one really cares other than me on that particular failure. That okay, oh, I failed in this particular exam, or I lost in this particular game, or whatever it is, right? People, other people out, you might think that okay, other people will look at you and they'll say ki ye kya kar liya and all that. But the reality is that people might look at you for 5 seconds or 1 minute, 10 minutes, then they'll just move on with their own life. No one really like thinks too much, other than your own like loved ones, like your parents, your family and all. So I just analyze first of all, like what exactly has happened, how could it be done better, and then I just move on. I just like write it down in my small notebook that I have,
Hmm.
and I just like move on to other things in life. That's basically what I think.
Yeah, very, very inspiring. And I guess that's a thing which everyone needs to learn. The most difficult part is that if anyone has failed, it takes a lot of time for people to move on, or probably, like not think about that failure and just think about the good things which are there in life. That's a little difficult. But if that is a thing which people can learn, I guess they can like achieve success much easier and much faster as compared to a person who's just going to crib and cry about his failure. So that's a thing which
Yeah,
even I have realized, and I completely agree with you. Like very inspiring as well.
true.
So thanks a lot, Ishan, for your time. One last question, which I always wanted to ask this to you. So this I've kept it towards the end. You have like achieved so much at a very young age of 19 itself. So how does it feel to achieve so much at a very young age?
How is my feeling? It's not much different than when I had hit maybe let's say 10,000 subscribers, or when I crossed that barrier, that particular mark of how much money you make. Then it's just like numbers that you see. uh, and this might feel like some saint is talking about these things and all that, but that's just how I am, right? I listen to a lot of like stoic philosophy, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and all of these other people. And so I've just learned a lot from them. I've just learned about, I go out on a lot of walks, and I just look around myself, and I realize that whatever I'm doing, that is great, but I'm just like a small creature in this huge planet and all that things, right? So it's okay, I'm doing some great things, but I need to keep myself level headed and not
Yeah,
romanticize too much about what I am, what I'm doing, all of those
correct.
things, right? It's like focus on the work and then get things done and move on. What
Right.
my goal is right now is to pass college and then just like get into like full on content creation mode and full on business mode. That's what I want to do. And yeah, that's what I'm like focusing on. The most important part for me right now is what new thing did I learn today, right? What new aspect of life or what new thought did I learn that I was not aware of
Mm.
yesterday. And if I
Right.
can learn that one thing every single day, and if I can just like record that on my phone, I just have these bunch of voice memos that I record on my phone
Mm.
or whatever I'm going through. Sometimes I make a video talking about that,
Mm.
but I just like have this huge library of all of these things. So that is what is really important.
Right. Wonderful, man. Very, very motivating. And even like in terms of talking to you and watching this, I guess a lot of people are going to get motivated. So thanks a lot, Ishan, for your time. Any last message you'd like to give to all the viewers? So all the viewers are young professionals, either working somewhere in a corporate or they are pursuing the course of CA. Like all young professionals are there. Any last message you'd like
Yeah.
to give?
I'm not like some teacher would give you life lessons or something like that. I'll just say that the thing that worked out for me is not thinking too much about the outcome, at least when you're starting, and just like going on, like just do it, right? That's what the Nike thing is. And you should
Yeah.
definitely read this book called the Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. But I just would say whatever it is that you are thinking of doing, just go out there and make it happen. And you would not have a better time than right now to do it, because the economy is really good. Even if you fail, the risk of losing is is substantial, but even if you lose, the downside is not too big, right? Like, yeah, you can lose, yes, you can bankrupt yourself, and you'll just be it's not like you'll literally like be the end of everything, right? You'll still have like the basic amenities will be fulfilled. So it's not something that you should be worrying too much about. Just like go on and
Right.
get started with things. That's what I've learned. Whenever recently I was talking with the Snapdeal founder, right, Kunal
Okay.
Behel. I got the chance to
Mm,
talk to him, and
mm,
he was really inspiring. I also talked with Noah Kagan recently, and all of these people are just focusing on doing things and not worrying about what the society will say, what will happen, consequences and all that. Log kya kahenge type mentality. They're just
yeah.
like going on with things. So that's what I would say.
Right. Right. Amazing, amazing, man. I guess that's you've told that it's not a life lesson, but I guess it's a life lesson for all the viewers. Again, wonderful, wonderful piece of advice. So thanks a lot,
Thank you so
Ishan,
much.
for all your like insightful answers. It was lovely talking to you, man. So wish you all the best for all your future endeavors. No doubt, like you have a very, very bright future ahead. The best part about you is that just like keep moving on. Even if there's failure, even if there's success, like just celebrate the success, cope up with the failure, and just keep moving on. So that's the best
Yeah.
part I like about you, and that's the message which I want to leave out to the entire audience. That no matter how many failures you have, no matter how many successes you achieve, just keep moving on. That's it. So yeah,
Thank you so much, bro.
thanks,
Thank you so
thanks a
much.
lot, Ishan. Yeah, all the
Yeah.
best. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye.